voice, the wealth builder, the big money banker, the $1 million lender, coming to you with another podcast, another informational series. And this one, I'm going to speak to the women again. Question is, especially my older sisters, are you on the deed? I'll repeat that. Are you on the deed? Over my 30 years as a mortgage professional, I've had many instances where husbands have refinanced and attempted not to put their wives on the deeds because of whatever credit blemishes they may or may not have. Let me say this, as a Christian and as a minister of the gospel, I will not do a loan for you, for any husband, if the wife is not on the deed. I have a spiritual issue with that because you're leaving your wife uncovered. But many of you dum-dums are not on the deed, and it's crazy. You play wife, you know what that means. You cook, you clean, scratching your back in the middle of the night. You're helping raise children often that are not your own, grandchildren not your own. And you mean to tell me if he dies, if there's an untimely expiration, that his children will come in and throw you out the house because you're not on the deed? I've had some husbands recently, this year and the end of last year, attempting to buy houses and asking me, can I do the loan without putting the wife on the deed?
Wow.
Isn't that something? Why would you want to buy a house? That means you up to no good. See, that's the it's my house. Let me say, let's reverse. When you were standing in front of the altar, and maybe the pastor didn't say it, but it's an implication that, and the two shall become one flesh. You remember that? Have you heard that one before? And the two shall become what? One flesh. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. So you're trying to tell me you want to be covered, but you don't want her to be covered. And you'll say, well, she got bad credit, he got bad credit. No, baby, we got bad credit. Because if she got bad credit, you got bad credit. And in my previous series, I talked about making sure that you understand who you're marrying. Choose wisely. You need to look at that credit report. You need to understand who you're about to get in the covenant with, because it's going to affect the both of you. Something that affects her will affect you and vice versa. But let's just keep the plane where it was. There are lots of husbands. Now, if you own the house prior to marrying him or marrying her, I do not believe necessarily that you should add that person to the deed. But here's what I do believe. I believe that you should buy another house, let that house be an investment house, and then you're both on the deed. Ladies, don't let a man move in your house. I'm going to say that again. Don't let no man move in your house, especially a man that doesn't have a house. And if he's going to move in your house, then he has to pay all the bills. Now, if he wants to keep his house, that if you pass or you all don't make it, he has a home he's renting, that's fine. But to let a man who doesn't have a house move in your house with $1 in a dream is a recipe for disaster. Especially if he's 40 plus. And y'all letting these 60 and 70-year-old old gigolos move in your house is crazy. That's just crazy. He in there with what's that stuff? Liniment that you put on your joints, ligament, whatever that stuff is. Icy high. Moving in somebody's house. He ain't never had a house. He has jumped around like a boll weevil, or the parable in the Bible about the grasshopper and the ant. He's been a grasshopper all his life. You've been the steadfast ant, and you're gonna let a grasshopper move in your house. Choose wisely. Don't put no man on your deed. Don't let no man move into your house. And he gonna come in and play boss. What did the comedian say? Someone, you got that big D energy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, with little D pocketbook. But gonna come in and be the man. No. Maybe you want to make some sort of concession. Maybe he's really a good man. Maybe gets a big VA check or something like that. But whatever you do, make sure that he's being the man. Do not ever allow a man to become a boy. Do not ever let a man or cause a man not to live up to his God-established rightful responsibility. Because God established man's responsibility. God ordained manhood before society ever could or ever will. make sure you're on that deed. Thank you for listening.